stands between the Bismarck and the Atlantic. But this is only the beginning of the Royal Navy's misfortunes. This episode is sponsored by Wargaming. Download World of War tips and use the code EXTRA1 for free goodies. Link in the description. Admiral Toby's flagship, King George V. The Battle of the Denmark Strait has not only been a disaster for British morale, but it's presented a tactical problem. Bismarck and Prince Eugen are loose in the Atlantic. Worse, the only ships close enough to engage the Germans are no match for those battleships. Instead of intercepting Bismarck, Admiral Toby's home fleet is now chasing her south. But thanks to the cruisers and their radar, they at least know where the Bismarck is, and reconnaissance planes have reported a large oil slick following the vessel. It seems that one of the Prince of Wales's shells wounded the beast, but it hasn't slowed her. If Toby hopes to catch up to Bismarck, he has to cause her further damage. He orders his aircraft carrier Victorious to steam ahead of him. She's a faster ship, and with luck she can get her swordfish torpedo bombers within range of the enemy before dark. 1839 hours. The Prince of Wales and a squadron of cruisers have been shadowing Bismarck and Prince Eugen with their forward radar when one of the cruiser's lookouts spots something in the haze. Suddenly, Bismarck cuts through the fog bank and opens up with her guns. The cruiser quickly turns and flees into the fog. A mile behind it, the Prince of Wales fires a salvo. Battle seems imminent, but the Bismarck breaks off and continues north. When the cruiser reacquires Bismarck, its captain notices that there's only one ship on radar now, not two. The attack was a bluff, a ploy to break radar contact so Prince Eugen could detach and slip away. They've lost one prize. 2,300 hours on the aircraft carrier Victorious. 9 swordfish torpedo bombers lift off the pitching deck. They are not fit for this mission. The pilots are inexperienced. The aircraft are biplanes with bodies made of metal struts and stretched fabric. They carry only 1 torpedo each, and their top speed is only 138 miles per hour. But they are the only solution available. The squadron reaches the target area and sees a ship below. Then these rookie pilots begin an attack run that could change history. They dive low, 100 feet above the waves, and line up to create a bank of torpedoes that will be hard to thread. But the ship's anti-aircraft batteries aren't opening fire, and this ship seems a little small to be Bismarck. Flak lashes past the squadron. It's coming from a different ship, 10 miles distant. That's Bismarck. The swordfish pull out of their attack run and climb into the clouds, glimpsing the U.S. Coast Guard ensigns flying from the ship they'd nearly just sunk. U.S.-UK relations are saved, but they've lost the element of surprise. The squadron drives towards the Bismarck in a storm of anti-aircraft fire. Tracer rounds zip past. The great 15-inch guns fire into the sea, creating walls of water 100 feet high. Flak rips the bottom out of one plane, while another swordfish hits a pillar of spray and nearly stalls. But all the things that make swordfish obsolete also make them a perfect weapon in this case. Modern anti-aircraft batteries are designed to target faster planes, and the swordfish's low speed makes them easy to maneuver. Their cloth skins and frames are so fragile that shells smash right through without detonating. The swordfish loose their torpedoes. The Bismarck slowly swerves, trying to thread the gap between the tin fish. It succeeds twice, but as the swordfish buzz away, they see a bright flash and a gush of water amidships. Right on the thick armor belt. Likely no damage. 25th of May, 01:15 hours. Under orders to engage, the Prince of Wales fires on Bismarck at extreme range, but the weather cuts visibility to nothing. The cruiser squadron resumes shadowing the Bismarck by radar, zigzagging to throw off the U-boats that Admiralty warns are in the area. During these evasive maneuvers, they lose and reacquire Bismarck every 20 minutes. At 03:06 hours, the lead cruiser has the Bismarck on radar and then turns away. When they turn back at 03:30 hours, the Bismarck is gone. They search, but in vain. After shadowing her for 32 hours and 1,000 miles, they've lost their quarry. 0600 hours on the King George V, 3 hours since last contact. When Toby learns that the cruisers have lost Bismarck, he goes to his charts. The oil slick reported behind Bismarck suggests that the ship is damaged, in which case, he reasons, it would try to return to port either in Norway or occupied France. But if Bismarck isn't badly damaged, it could link up with an oil tanker, refuel, and play havoc with supply convoys. This scares Toby. His ships are already low on fuel, and if the search continues too long, they're gonna have to return home. If Bismarck finds a tanker, she could simply wait them out. He orders several of his cruisers, battleships, and the Victorious to refuel in Iceland. It'll mean he's short-handed in the meantime, but he'll have the option for a long-term search. If it comes down to it, he has the battleship Rodney in intercept position, just in case Bismarck heads for the French coast. 0930 hours at Bletchley Park. 6.5 hours have passed since last contact. Every day is a race for the code breakers at Bletchley Park. The settings for German Enigma code machines change every day, and every day Bletchley's bomb, a huge computer, runs through different settings until the intercepted messages turn into readable German. Once that happens, it's a scramble to decode as many intercepts as possible before the codes change again. Hut 4, the computer that deals with German naval signals, is trying to sort through a mountain of intercepts to find where Bismarck is headed. But the Bismarck isn't the only German vessel in the Atlantic, and because the naval version of the Enigma has 5 rotors instead of 4, actual decryptions will take a week to come through. In the absence of translations, the analysts try to identify Bismarck's signals by the electronic fingerprint of its transmitter and the typing style of the ship's Morse operator. If they find a signal that matches, they triangulate its position. The evidence is mixed. One triangulated signal seems headed for France, but other possible hits indicate Norway. But one analyst notices that the broadcasts being sent to the Bismarck have changed origin points. Until noon the previous day, signals to the Bismarck originated at a station in Germany, but now they're coming from Paris. This suggests that Bismarck has traveled out of the German station's range and is headed for France. They decide to trust the French signal. They broadcast the raw data to Toby, whose destroyers can triangulate the signals with their own equipment. 10:47 hours on the King George V. 7.5 hours since last contact. Toby reviews the raw data indicating France, but in triangulating it, he makes a mathematical error. According to his map, the Bismarck is headed north toward Norway. He orders all ships to search north of the Bismarck's last known position. 1200 hours at the Admiralty, 9 hours since last contact. 200 feet below the Admiralty building in London, analysts are hotly debating the Bismarck's position. They are under pressure